説よりも気なりですね。
Welcome back, Overwatch fans, to another amazing night.
We have a fantastic match tonight, no question about it.
Oh my god, yes!
Put the barrage! Make sure they can't even follow up afterwards.
And Wash has found 2 in this fight thus far. Make that 3, make that 4 right now here. Dynamic team gets a 4-man tire!
Those who find the picks will save the fights, and they don't really need to save what they've already won.
100 gets 3! Wins the primal rage!
Experience tranquility.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to tonight's matchup between Reckless Sigma and Classified. I am BethCon2, and joining me tonight is Dexatron. How are you doing tonight, Dex?
I am doing great tonight, Beth. This was actually a surprise to me. I wasn't expecting to be casting this one, but I'm so looking forward to casting this one now.
Yeah, it should be a great game tonight. A lot on the line for both of these teams, even though neither of them are really fighting for more than sort of shuffling through the ranks of playoffs right now. Classified, if they get swept, could end up falling. Excuse me, I'm getting that backwards. Reckless Sigma, if they get swept, could end up falling into the elimination pool. Classified still has a very slim chance of making it into A tier. So, lots on the line for these two teams. What are you excited to see tonight, Dex?
I mean, I'm excited to see a very, very close, hard-fought battle between these two teams, because if you look at these two teams' average combined SRs, they are incredibly close. Reckless Sigma actually just barely beating out Classified's average SR by only 2 points there. So I believe we're going to be in for a slugfest tonight.
Absolutely. Should be a good game. Lots of good players on both of these teams. And this is the last time we're going to be seeing any Transcendence teams playing on Overwatch 1. We're switching over to Overwatch 2 next week. And this is the second to the last Tranquility featured match on Overwatch 1. So lot of history behind this match. A lot of cool things coming in here. But we're starting off on Lijiang Tower. And Lijiang Tower is one of my favorite maps. I love that there are so many different comps that people can run on each point, and I'm not super familiar with each of these teams, so I don't know what they're planning on running here.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Just to kind of correct something you said there, there will actually be a week break between the time of this game and the time that these next two teams will play, because we're having the event week next week. So that's going to be a lot of fun. It also gives the teams a week to get used to Overwatch 2, get used to the 5v5 and different comps they're going to be playing when that one eventually comes out.
For sure. Thank you for bringing that up. I completely blanked on that, but looks like we're getting ready to attack here. Classified is running out on a pretty standard 6-man here. See a lot of teams end up running this. Reckless Sigma, it looks like they're going for the TP Brawl to point, so Classified's going to want to run this a little bit faster before that Moira runs out of heals if they're wanting to take the fight from Reckless Sigma.
Yeah, and honestly, Reckless Sigma, like you said, TPing straight to point, they are already there. I wonder if Weird's going to stick on this match, at least for 1 life. Almost actually already getting chunked down there by Fake Jake and the rest of Classified. However, they're now just kind of going to play around this pillar in the middle of the point here. And already we see a hack come out there on the protagonist. That's actually a good enough hack for them right now. I feel like that is a low-risk character they could feel losing at the moment. But look at this. Already 2. They're trying to go for 3 as Weird here is absolutely charged on that weapon right there. But 5 members down for Classified, and Reckless Sigma easily wins out the first point here.
Yeah, Sigma played that perfectly to their advantage. They knew that Classified gonna run out of resources a lot faster. They just held back, they waited, they bided their time until Weird was up onto full charge. We see Classified now going for completely different strat. They're off of that 6-man and now onto a Ball Pharah comp. Slower, pokier comp here might play to their advantage, getting different angles against this more stacked Brawl team of Reckless Sigma.
Yeah, Nick already throwing in a lot of damage here as we see Fake Jake try to come through and bowl some members out of the way there, but they, I believe, got flashed in there, or at least stunned. But now we see Fake Jake back in there again, dealing some damage. Weird, though, able to take him out. Sir Olin here, Sir is able to get that immortality field down as Weird and Calypso take out 2 more members of Classified here. And Classified just looks like they're really struggling with this comp that Reckless Sigma is running at the moment.
Yeah, it can be very difficult to retake this point once it's been flipped, and especially into a brawl comp. We see, High Noon come out, Calypso takes down Nick for the stagger. That's going to be huge for them.
It's going to be a stagger a little bit as we do see the res come out there. I knew Touch did not use that in the last fight. However, Fake Jake falls just after that happened. So again, we're going to see a little bit of a stagger here from the Classified squad and the DMEC, but we see a Shatter come out. They get slept right after it. However, they're only able to find Clock on that Shatter. They do find Hoopa eventually as protagonist, able to boot him off there. But like we said, they've just been kind of staggering out kills right now. They're going to wait for Nick to come back probably before we see another engage.
Yeah, but we haven't even really gotten that many good fights on this point. We had that first engage, and then ever since that, it's just been sort of a pokey stagger trickle fight. 79% on the point here. Classified's got to make something happen.
Yeah, Barrage is ready for Nick. He pops it here. He finds 2 right away from it. The beat coming in keeps him alive, and he gets nanoed here to keep him up in this fight, but he's already done so much damage. Astrozerg here, though, is trying to get his team back in this one. They find 1, but Sir Olin there falls right after that. And this is the first great showing we've seen from Classified at the moment. Spectre does have that bomb, is going to use it here to get back into their mech, and they're able to find Nick somehow. But Astrozerg falls, Calypso's back in the fight, finds both supports for Classified here. Bomb comes in from Classified, doesn't find anyone. Calypso absolutely on a tear right now. 3 straight kills going to him. Weird able to take out Commander there on the Tracer duel, but right now it's just Classified trying to just keep staggering, getting a touch on this point. We do see 1 member come back through. Calypso here trying just to land any shots on any member of Classified, trying to get back in. Fake Jake able to get back in. As we see the High Noon find 1, and he's just on a tear right now. 2 kills. He flashbangs Jake there out of the slam, and Jake is absolutely not having a fun time. They're able to contest here again, but they're... Well, I actually thought it was going to end there. Fake Jake able to get back to the point. Commander able to get back to the point. We see Hoopa back on the point. I believe Touch is back on the point as well, doing what his namesake is there on touching the point, but he probably won't live much longer after that touch. Nick falls. Clock is not able to get back to the point there, and Reckless Sigma really, really good here on Gardens.
Definitely. That was definitely a valiant effort there by Classified at the end, rotating their touches, trying to stagger it out. It looked like they had it there for a second with Nick on the Pharah getting a couple of picks, really opening it up for him. But Reckless Sigma were just able to, again, do what they were doing earlier. They were playing patient. They were waiting for picks. Calypso absolutely popped off on the Cassidy. It seemed like his name was all over the kill feed. So definitely putting in a lot of work for Reckless Sigma. Looks like both of these teams are planning on going to a ball point on this point. So Classified, again, kind of an odd variation on ball comp. It's almost like a 6, I don't know. They're not running the Pharah, I guess, that I'd normally expect to see there. Reckless Sigma with a mix of TP to point and an Echo. So it'll be interesting to see how both of these teams decide to approach it.
Yeah, Touch was making that last minute swap there to the Brigitte is going to be a little bit interesting, and we're going to see a little bit of Classified here play it all the way from this backside here inside this restaurant over there, while the TP from Reckless Sigma went straight to point. However, now it's essentially just a little bit of a poke battle.
Yeah, and that's how both of these teams want to play it. These slow, pokey fights are exactly how they both want to. So it's really just going to come down to who gets the picks, and it looks like Weird gets the opening pick for Reckless Sigma.
Yeah, and that might just be enough to get them the first point here. We do see Fake Jake come in, but they're kind of gonna get melted down here by some members of Reckless Sigma as they're able to cap the first point here. But Weird in the sky really has no one to really worry about while they're up there. Really, it's only just maybe Commander and Hoopa that could get after them. But Commander here able to find Astrozerg, so that's a nice pick for them here if they want to try to get a retake opportunity here on point. But Spectre has to do a lot now, especially with no shield. Commander actually has hacked that large health pack right there, as we saw. Is already getting back to point close to an EMP, but I don't imagine he's going to be able to get this fight. Actually, as I say that, he's going to be able to get it. He pops it off here and finds all 6 members of Reckless Sigma. Commander loses his life, though, for it, and so far there's been no response from Classified. Nick finally able to find one, but a 6-man EMP effectively goes to waste right now. However, we see Fake Jake and Nick try to keep their team in this fight. The pulse bomb comes out, but I believe they got stunned out of it. Here comes the Graviton Surge from Spectre. Not able to find anyone. Calypso, though, does find Touch there after they get slammed to the ground. It's still a very, very scrappy team fight on point, but we're starting to see Reckless Sigma just continue to pick up the kills here, and I believe they will eventually end up winning this team fight.
Man, both of these teams have so much back and forth. It looks like as soon as one team looks like they're swaying the fight in their favor, another person on the other team just kind of pops off and carries for a little bit and brings it on back. That said, Reckless Sigma able to hold on to the point for the entire thing, and with 2/3 of it gone and a pretty strong ultimate economy with both Echo and Zen ult up, it'll be interesting to see how Classified decides to approach this as we head into the next fight.
Yeah, especially Calypso used their pulse bomb in the last engagement as well. They're already 90% on it. Weird going to duplicate the ball here. This is going to be very dangerous if they can stay alive and get that minefield, because they can absolutely trap Classified up in this corner. And look at that, they already do that. They catch, I believe, touches Brigitte out in there. They have to use the rally to get themselves out of there. Bomb now coming out from Hoopa on point. We see Hoopa actually take out Sir Owen there and able to crush Weird. Nick finds protagonist, and this is the first great showing we see from Classified, and this will probably be their first team win and team wipe of the series.
Yeah, Classified did a really good job of pulling it together there. I loved the setup play. Hoopa sent his bomb onto point. Fake Jake used the boop to try to get people through the Sigma shield and onto the point for the bomb. Didn't end up killing anybody but the Zen at that point, but it was such a beautifully set up play, and it ended up giving them the pick that they needed to capture the point. And Classified still has a really good ult economy here. They got the EMP up as they're heading into this fight.
Yeah, they're definitely looking to hit someone right here. They're hit only Spectre, though. But Transcendence comes out from Sir Olin here to keep Spectre alive. So again, essentially another wasted EMP coming out from Classified. And we see Reckless Sigma retake the point, as they were probably focusing on those two members of Sigma back there in the corner. The minefields come out from Astrozerg. The Surge is coming out from Spectre. Doesn't find anyone there, but Calypso continues just to fill up the kill feed with his name. Pulse Bomb, though, from Nick sticks on the Spectre as they take him out. Nick and the D-Max Hoopa now are trying their best to just keep people on this point. Now it's up to Commander, but Commander's not able to get back in touch, and Reckless Sigma very, very dominant here on Lijiang Tower.
Yeah, Sigma honestly just looking so good. We saw it both with their Brawl comp and with their more pokey comp. Calypso here popping off on that first point, but they just looked more coordinated than Classified did. Classified took some time to get their footing. I think we finally saw them get it there towards the end of the second point. So hopefully the next map, with it being their map pick, they're able to be a little bit more decisive and continue taking those good fights like we saw. If they're able to do that, then it should be a good match as we head into the rest of it.
Yeah, I honestly believe you and agree with what you said there. Also, congrats to probably the one or two people who voted or who predicted that Reckless Sigma was going to win that first map there, because I believe at one point it was like 10 grand to like 100 on Classified there. So congrats to that one dude. You probably just won a whole bunch of channel points. But yeah, just these two teams seem to, like, they were really stuck with what they were wanting to play here. Reckless Sigma was probably a little bit smarter each map, going with the sim to TP on the point, and it just always worked out for them. They were able to find the first pick almost every round, and it just, once they got that point, they really never gave it up, especially on Gardens. They just played in that point the entire time, and it's really hard to retake that point when the entirety of the team is in it and you're not being able to find any picks.
Yeah, definitely, especially when you have Calypso on DPS on your team to get opening picks like nobody's business. Honestly, like the DPS pop off from Reckless Sigma definitely played a major role in that point. It looks like Classified here has decided to go to Hanamura. Seems like an interesting choice. Again, it's one of those maps where we do end up seeing a lot of Brawl, especially TP Brawl on the first point, some Brawl on the high ground on second point. Maybe that's what Classified's looking to run here. But then again, we also see sometimes some double shield. We can see some dives. So not quite sure what Classified is hoping to run here. Probably, looks like they are going for the TP Brawl here. So we haven't really seen them roll out on a Brawl yet. 6-man was, I think, the closest to that. So it'll be cool to see how they handle giving Sigma this new look.
Yeah, and look at what Sigma's coming out here with. They're coming out here with the pharmacy with the Sigma ball on their tank line here, which I think is going to be really interesting for them, especially on defense. But it looks like Astrozerg's just going to try to land a huge spike as Classified comes out, try to get up that minefield really fast. But Commander swaps off the sim there, going to the Pharah now.
Yeah, if Sigma is able to play this to their strengths, they're going to be able to hit Classified before they're even able to get where they want to go. They want to get in damage early, not let Classified use their sort of stacked comp to their advantage. Hit them from all angles, just like they were doing on last map. So looks like we're moving into first fight here as they're looking for a teleporter.
Yeah, the TP is now on point. They have all 6 members of them are classified on point, and already a tick given by Reckless Sigma. Really interesting. Calypso falls. We're though able to get 1 back in the trade. 1 support for 1 DPS is a trade I would always take right now, but you have to get in there and start contesting this point. Sir Olin falls, Astro Zerg falls, Spectre falls, and Reckless Sigma just kind of completely misplayed that first point.
Yeah, that was a tough one. So in order to make that comp work, you have to maintain some sort of point presence. You have to rely on your DPS to get a lot of picks. They did all right first. They got that bat pick off, but they weren't able to maintain the point presence they needed in order to not sacrifice too many ticks, and they ended up getting picked off here. 6 minutes for them to now have to defend point B as they do a pretty quick comp swap over to the D.Va, at least off the Sigma.
Yeah, this is always one of my biggest fears on this map, especially when the offense team comes out with a Symmetra, is rolling on to the second point if you're the defending team. But we're seeing Reckless Sigma here pick up some kills early and get the DMEC there onto Hoopa. So they should be able to kind of stabilize on this point right now, but they cannot really risk losing anyone in this fight, mostly just for ult charge. But Nick is able to build up a blizzard there. Clock does have their damage matrix, and basically almost everyone on Classified is incredibly close to all their ultimates. But Reckless Sigma able to pick up a lot of ultimates in that fight as well.
Yeah, Sigma definitely has a few coming into this. Classified, if they use theirs well, are probably going to be able to take this point. But that said, Classified did what they were supposed to do that point. They took the rotation, they avoided the Ferrocite lines, but Sigma was just able to get the damage off and able to get those picks. So even though Classified had a pretty good rotation, they weren't able to mitigate enough damage to take the point here. Looks like they're going for the more classic sort of high ground clearing brawl here. I'm thinking that Weird is probably going to look to use their barrage as soon as they walk through. So should be, yep, there we go.
Immediately comes out. It does destroy the teleport as Calypso takes out Clock there, so no damage matrix for Classified this fight. And the stick coming out from Calypso does find touch. And now Calypso in the backline with some help from Weird is starting to absolutely clean up this Classified team right now. And this is going to be a nice play here from Reckless Sigma. However, they did use 2 ultimates in that fight, but they will have 3 coming back into this next one. But look at Classified. That is a scary sight to see.
Yep, Classified having all 6 ults coming in here. There's any sort of different way that they could play this, but that was a beautiful play by Sigma. They used their ults to their advantage. They were able to hold them off. They burned 2 minutes off of the defense clock so far. They're 1/3 of the way through their time. I feel like we're seeing a completely different Sigma on this point than we saw on first point. But it looks like Classified's heading down main this time.
Right down Main Street. Here comes the wall from Commander. I imagine we're going to see some other ultimates come out. The Minefield comes out from Astro Zerg, but here comes the Blizzard, but it gets eaten by Spectre. The bomb from Hoopa finds 2, though, and they're able to stay alive in this team fight for the moment. They have themselves a tick, so they're at least saying they can have 1 tick. They got 2 ticks, and they continue to take out members of Reckless Sigma right now. Going down main was the thing they needed to do from the start with all their ultimates there. 3 minutes, 44 seconds in the time bank. Very, very, very healthy time bank.
Definitely, and that's one way to win a team fight, right? You've got 6 ultimates, just use all of them until the enemy is gone. But great work there by Classified again, like not using their ults in a poor way. Great eat, honestly, by Spectre onto that Blizzard. But in the end, Classified was able to cap that there. Moving on to second point again. We tend to see a lot of TP brawl attacks, so I'm not sure what anybody's planning on rolling out on here, but I wouldn't be surprised if Sigma decides to stick on a more like pokey pick-based comp just based on their comfort levels with that and how good they've looked running it. But that said, not a classic look on this point, so they could surprise me, and no, they do not. So they're sticking on that sort of pokeball echo comp, whereas Classified is moving over to a double shield comp, which we haven't seen from them yet.
Honestly, though, I'm kind of surprised Sigma's coming out with this. They played the Symmetra TP strats on Li Zhang incredibly well. I thought they'd do the same thing here, but I imagine they're expecting Classified's going to be expecting a Sim TP here, so maybe come out with something, like you said, a little bit more pokey, try to go for, you know, maybe find Clock sitting in the back, maybe Nick sitting in the back as well. But this is a completely different comp than what I really expect to see from Sigma.
Yeah, and it makes sense, and into what Classified's running, I feel like they're going to have a pretty good advantage. There's only so many different angles that feel very. We'll have to watch out though. They do have double hit scan, and they're running an Echo Mercy, so there is going to be a lot of pressure on Weird there. They may not be able to get the angles that they're looking for. Yeah,
but we're seeing Reckless Sigma, at least 2 of their members, come into that side room right there. Astrozerg and Calypso. They're just going to try to maybe be a little bit of a distraction. We're not able to get that bombs where they want to. Spectre, though, getting really, really close here on the D-Mech. Gets Dynamite looking for a healer, and they're able to find it just before their mech hit 0. So that's huge for them to keep this mech alive in this fight. Commander, though, is basically on Calypso due to they know they're in the background. Touch falls early for Classified. That's a huge pickoff for them, but Commander's definitely looking for Sir Olin in that back, who I think was basically 1 health there. Immortality Field comes out on point. Weird able to take care of that right away, and now we're starting to see Reckless Sigma try to get an attack on this point, but Nick's Dynamite able to take care of Calypso there. So basically, the biggest problem that Sigma has thrown at Calypso so far is out of this fight for the moment. And it seems like Reckless is really deciding to take this fight slow. But I just don't know if that's necessarily the smart thing. You allow their Mercy to get back in this fight. Nick does fall, so that is a huge pick for them, but they lose the mech from Spectre.
Yeah, it's kind of an odd fight. Like, we've got a couple of ults coming out now from Classified with the visor in the window to just secure it, but Sigma just sort of has been hanging back. They've been poking for ult charge. Their win cons here, I mean, they could get a copy off. They could, oh, this poor Mercy. Just jump off.
They get some help there from Commander, but...
But Sigma's just probably waiting for their win cons at this point. A mine to clear point, a good copy onto... I don't know who they would probably copy, but I would guess a Sigma or something like that. But Classified does have their Bob coming online, but Sigma does have the ult advantage now with that sort of slow pokey ult building fight that they took. That said, only 2 minutes now as we're heading into this fight.
Yeah, the Reckless Sigmas here is really taking their time to get anything on this point. Now we're starting to see them get some percentage on point, but I don't necessarily know if we're going to see a tick come out. Valkyrie being popped here by Protagonist to keep them their team alive in this fight. However, they decide to go Battle Mercy instead. Weird does find Nick there and is certainly looking for more. They find Touch after all that. They do have the duplicate ready. Weird is actually really starting to take over this round for Reckless Sigma. 4 straight kills for Weird. Woo. Make it 5 straight kills for Weird. Calypso had to get his name in there somewhere. Takes that last kill, but Weird absolutely with a carry there in that team fight.
Yep, didn't even end up having to use their ultimate, so they'll have it in the bank running in here. But like you said, solid 5K, solid play out of Weird. They were able to get the picks and damage they needed. They were able to hold the angles and just keep Classified on their back foot the whole time. Classified has a window and 2 tank ults coming up here. Both of them could be fight-ending ultimates for Sigma, but Sigma does have that bomb and the copy still in their pocket, so that either one of those could get the picks they needed to open the point up.
Yeah, it looks like they're going for this high ground strat. We do see Astrozerg kind of bowl through. Calypso, though, falls early in this fight. Weird duplicating the Sigma here, but they're already getting chunked down right now. They're able to actually boulder Hoopa off that high ground there, and Hoopa's going to have to make the slow walk back to any ground that's seeable of any member of Reckless. However, Clock finds one. Spectre is able, Spectre falls there. Astrozerg able to find Nick. Calypso getting back in this fight does find Touch. Weird almost taking down Commander there, but not able to. This is still just a very prolonged, scrappy team fight we're seeing right here. Calypso hinting that they have that pulse bomb ready to go as Protagonist falls there, and I imagine we're seeing a regroup here from Reckless Sigma.
Yeah, and am I crazy, or did Commander use his ult last fight and build up another one, or was he just like aiming really well from the high ground? I don't remember, but that said, he has his visor up. Again, one of those that can hold a lot of space, especially in this big like bowl of a point that Hanamura point B can be. Sigma only investing the copy there, so they're coming up on 5 ults of their own here as we head into just under 3 minutes left on the clock.
Yeah, Astrozerg not able to get a spike there. Bomb coming out from Spectre, but here we see the visor finally pop from Commander. It finds Calypso. He's looking for anything else. They're going to be able to find Astrozerg here. And really, so far, Reckless Sigma has had a really rough time on this second point. Protagonist able to res Calypso back into this fight somehow, and Calypso runs for their life so they don't die immediately. Protagonist, though, having to run for their own life here, but will get some passive healing to make sure they're full and ready, full health by the next time there's an engagement.
Yeah, and that was a really expensive push for Sigma without a lot of value. They ended up 3 ults that fight. They still have 2.5 in the bank, but Classified, again, just looking super, super solid on this defense here.
Yeah, but Weird takes out Hoopa. That's a huge one for them, so they do not have to worry about the Graviton Flux here. However, they get res. Nick finds Spectre shortly after getting demech. Astro Zerg has to roll back away from action here as he was really low. They do have that Mind Field ready, but Astro Zerg doesn't live long enough to use it. Calypso continues to find picks for their team. Whoever classified is finding more picks than what Calypso can try to carry right now. Clock finds Weird, and we see Calypso jump off the map there. A minute 40 left now for Reckless Sigma to just try to match what Classify did.
Yeah, and if you're Reckless Sigma at this point, you've got a minute and a half left. It's almost too late to make any swaps. They've got ults, they've got what they're holding on to here. The Classified's double shield defense here is just looking so strong. It's going to be tough for them to break it. That said, they do have a nano, a copy, and some mines coming online. Any one of those could be a good fight-winning ultimate against the double shield comp. But oh, Nick already takes down Weird.
And we see the sleep come out. I don't know if Protagonist has a res here. They're able to get the res back off, but they lose Sir Olin in the mix of that. Calypso falls as well. So again, we're pretty much going to see Reckless Sigma here probably wait for a regroup. So a great stagger coming out from Classified.
Definitely, and I think Commander got sick of us talking so much about Calypso and Weird last map, because this map he's been absolutely dominant on that soldier. He's almost got his visor up. We've seen that be a really effective ultimate for him in the past. And Spectre takes out Clock already for Classified.
The Valkyrie coming out here from Protagonist. They're able to get a DMAC onto Spectre there. It's Hoopa with their Graviton Flux, and he's looking for more now. Nick already finds Calypso here. Touch pops their own Valkyrie here to keep their team alive in this team fight. Commander does have a visor ready. He pops it now. Weird does find Hoopa. Fake J comes right back with a trade onto Spectre. Down goes Sir Olin. Down goes Weird. And Commander is, like you said, he was really tired of us talking about the other two DPS from Reckless Sigma. Wanted to make sure he gets the respect that he rightfully so deserves, and he is showing us why he deserves it.
Yeah, absolutely beautiful soldier play. 7 seconds left. I don't know if anybody from Sigma can even touch at this point.
Yeah, I believe. Actually, no, we do see Calypso come back and touch. Spectre's back just to hold the fort for a while here. They get DMAC and die immediately as Bob is there on point. Protagonist is back, but Commander takes care of them. Now we see Astro Zerg back. They're all just trying to touch the point as long as they can at this point, but I believe we have finally seen the last member of Reckless Sigma touch that point, and Classified will tie the series back up at 1.
Yeah, absolutely beautiful play by Classified. Their attack was absolutely fast and flawless on the first half, and on the back half we saw them really hold. Good play out of Reckless Sigma. Honestly, we see here Weird from them getting play of the game on that Echo play, but just not enough to take down the honestly, Classified was looking like a different team on this map than they were on the first map. They were just coordinating so much better. They were getting the picks that they needed, and it was really just a joy to watch.
Yeah, and honestly, I was surprised Classified picked Hanamura, especially considering, like how I mentioned at the start of Reckless Sigma's attack, how well they did with the Symmetra on Lijiang Tower. I thought they were just kind of giving a map over to Reckless Sigma, but they certainly proved me wrong here. And like I said before this series kind of started, I expected a back and forth kind of brawl, you take a map, we take a map right back sort of match from these two teams, and so far we are getting that.
Yeah, and I am so happy that we are. I feel like all of the other maps I've casted this season have been mostly 4-0, so I love watching a really close battle between two really closely matched teams. And like we said earlier, even though like the standings may not matter like too much at this point, since they're both pretty middle of the pack, the map differential does, and depending on how other maps go today, it could end up being either one of these teams could end up in B tier, C tier, and I don't think there is a chance for anybody to be in the elimination tier since both teams have one map now, but still a lot of playoff implications going in here since the next round is used entirely for seeding for that.
Yeah, you are 100% right. Reckless Sigma winning that first map guaranteed them not being put into that elimination pool, so they can they can relax a little bit now that they don't have to worry about that. But that was the end of the second map, so that means we are going to halftime. We'll be right back after a short break with map number 3. Welcome back from halftime, everyone. Our series is tied up after 2 maps of Classified and Reckless Sigma. Again, I am Dextron. I am joined here by BethCon. Beth, what have you thought of the series so far?
It's just been a fun series to watch. After the first point, I was kind of worried that it was going to be a little lopsided, but Hanamura Classified brought it back. I feel like we've been focusing in a lot on both teams' DPS so far. The DPS from both teams have had just a lot of really fun to watch pop-off moments. It's, like I said, it's just been a blast so far. And like we've mentioned kind of throughout the cast, there are stakes on the line here. Both of these teams are fighting for the best possible bracket they can get into in hopes of getting the best possible playoff standings that they can get. So both of these teams are laying it all down in the last week of Overwatch 1 that we're playing, and it's really just a joy to watch.
Yeah, pour one out there for all you 2CP enjoyers like myself. Last time we're going to get that here, and I'm sad that that's the last time I'm casting 2CP, but we do know the next map will be Eichenwald here. Honestly, I'm surprised to see this map come up, and that's not King's Row.
I mean, maybe people are just saying, you know what, King's Row, we've played it enough. We know everybody practices it every week, and maybe Reckless Sigma just was like, this week we're focusing on Eichenwald and planning on picking it if we need to. That said, also, I mean, a lot of people run, again, Ball, Sigma, Pharah, Echo, kind of comps on Eichenwald, both for attack and defense, at least for points A and B. So maybe Sigma's hoping that that'll play into their favor here. It does look like we have had a side swap here. So Reckless Sigma is now on the red team, but it looks like they're running a Ball Hog here with a Genji and an Echo. Definitely a very pick-focused comp here. Oh, excuse me, the Genji just went over to Tracer, so a little bit more divey, kind of, but still looking for those picks, looking for that Roadhog, things like that. Classified, going back to that double shield that served them so well on Hanamura. This point's a little bit less of a bowl, a little bit less of that high ground advantage surrounding the point like you see on Hanamura B, but I still think that this will play into Classified's favor.
Yeah, but as Reckless Sigma here swaps off the Hog there, now goes back to what I would consider to be a little bit more of a stable comp with Spectre now on the Sigma. Weird is gonna have to deal with a lot though in the sky, as both Nick and Commander are running direct counters. However, Classified just lets Reckless Sigma get right through that choke point right there and already into a team fight. And look at that, Hoopa is in a very, very bad spot. They're able to escape with their life for the moment. Immortality Field being forced out here. It's already gone. Commander falls early in this engagement, and Reckless Sigma so far showing us that they absolutely knew why they picked this map. Already 3 kills for them, and Calypso is going after Torch here. They do get the res onto Commander, but Commander won't really live much longer just to then pop off a couple shots, but they are able to take out Astro Zerg though.
Yeah, that pick onto Astro Zerg probably not going to do too much. He's going to get close spawns. He's on that Wrecking Ball. But honestly, beautiful, beautiful play by Sigma there. They used their angles. They played their poke. They got their picks and things like that. Classified now going over to a Ball Sigma of their own. They're keeping Classified and Nick on the double hit scan to deal with the oppressive Echo from Weird that we've been seeing. Little bit less healing on their side with the Zen, a little bit more damage, but definitely should be... Oh, and Nick has already taken down Spectre.
Yeah, good pick for them to start off this team fight. It might force Reckless Sigma here, and actually it probably will force Reckless Sigma to play a little bit more passive. But Weird's able to take out Commander again. The direct counters have not been working so far, but Calypso just blinks straight into the line of a bullet there. You do not want to catch those with their face like they did there. And Calypso falls there holding on to that pulse bomb, and now Reckless Sigma kind of split away from each other, but it looks like they're now falling back to regroup.
Yeah, they're falling back to regroup. That said, they're getting a little bit of push on card here. It looks like they are committing some ultimates with that copy and things like that. Team fight is still ongoing. They're definitely not rolling over yet.
Yeah, oh, and Calypso gets the stick there onto Nick. A trade coming out. Spectre finds Clock, and Calypso will get res there. Fake Jake trying to just contest that cart there a little bit, able to get that large health pack, but they'll probably roll back up onto this high ground maybe, but no, Calypso is there, and so is Astro Zerg. Fake Jake absolutely stuck between a rock and a hard place there and just not able to roll out of it.
Yeah, definitely a good coordination and body block by Astro Zerg and Calypso there. As we're heading into the end of point B now, they've got the the Classified Wrecking Ball coming back. They will have 6 for a final contest here. Spectre has the lift up, which could be a huge point here, but Nick also has Bob.
Yeah, I imagine we're going to see Bob come out here already, and look at that. There's Bob. Weird, though, finds Clock, so no Transcendence, but they were still a little bit of ways from that. Now the minefield comes out here from Fake Jake on point, forcing Reckless Sigma to play away from the card here for a moment. Here comes the Graviton Surge from Hoopa. It does find Protagonist there. Weird, though, continues just to pick up kills. Spectre, though, is able to find one kill of their own with their own Graviton Surge there, and now is trying just to punch someone to death there. Weird, though, able to continue just picking up kill after kill here, and Astro Zerg finds 2 there, booping Fake Jake and Clock off the map, and that'll be point 2 going over to Reckless Sigma.
Definitely, and I lost a little bit there. My internet cut out at the end of that fight, but Sigma able to push it all the way through. Really good play from both Sigmas, though, on that last fight. Both of them using their lift, getting a couple of picks. In the end, Spectre just edges out a little bit more for Reckless Sigma as we're heading into point C here.
Yeah, Clock does have that Transcendence. Torch is very close to a Valkyrie here, but I don't know how key those will be in this team fight. Calypso does have a Pulse Bomb, and Weird, again, really close to that duplicate, but they're going to pop it off here right away, popping off onto, or duplicating the Sigma here, but they've already lost 2 members of their team. They're desperately trying to get anything here, but they will find nothing with it, while 2 more members of their team fall here, and this is really going to force a regroup coming out from Reckless Sigma. Protagonist just falls there, and the last 2 remaining members of the Sigma squad trying to get back to their spawn. Spectre not able to, as basically almost everyone from Classified bullied him into a corner.
I feel like for the last couple of points, Weird has just been like, where's Commander? I'm going to find him and I'm going to take him out. And using that attention, Nick and Clock were like, nope, we're just as much of a threat as he is. He's not your only enemy in the sky, and we're able to get the picks there that were needed for Classified to hold. 3.5 minutes here for point B. Sigma does have the mines and the nano coming up, but it looks like we've got a Sombra and a Tracer now coming out of Sigma.
You know, I like this from Sigma, especially because it worked so well right there. Calypso already getting a lot of value out of it. Hacking Fake Jake there, completely got rid of that ball there for a moment. High Noon now coming out for Commander, desperately just trying to find anyone. Won't find anyone with it right there. Calypso, though, almost gets taken out there. Flashbang coming out from Commander. I don't believe we found anyone. Astro Zerg pops their minefield here. It finds Nick. We do see the D-Mech onto Spectre there, happened from the Graviton Surge. Now the Transcendence coming out from Clock. Nick gets rezzed here, so it's a full team fight again. Weird, almost just straight running into a minefield there. Gets Flashbang, still able to escape with their life here as they desperately just try to tickle Jake here to death. Calypso close on this EMP right now, just trying to find a hack onto anyone, keeps getting stunned out of it. This team fight is just progressing on forever, it seems. Rally coming out here from Protagonist to keep their team alive with some shields. Nice spike there coming out from Astro Zerg, but they lose their life for it. And now it's going to be a little bit difficult for this Reckless Sigma team to really have any sort of push from this engagement, and we're already starting to see him back up a little bit. Another High Noon coming out from Commander. Doesn't find anyone other than D-Mech, but he will take out Spectre.
Yeah, lots of ults being traded back and forth. I feel like there was a really long stretch there where we saw 3 or 4 ults come out without any kills. Healers from both teams with Sorolin and Protagonist from Sigma and Clock and Touch from Classified just doing a great job of keeping their respective teams alive through those big ult fights. That said, Sigma is coming up with an EMP here and a bomb and mines. That could be really huge for them and be the opening pick that they need to get through here.
Yeah, Calypso did a good job not falling there. That EMP is going to be what their team fight winner is here. And Nick loses his Pulse Bomb. Spectre was hungry there. Here comes the EMP. It finds 4. This is exactly what Reckless Sigma was looking for. It follows up with a 2-man bomb, and Weird picks up Hoopa. Down goes Touch as well. And Calypso trying to get a hack there onto the Tracer of Nick. Not able to just yet. And now we're starting to see some swaps come out from Classified. Commander going over to this Doofus, just trying to touch point and contest. We do see the ball come back out, but not being able to get slammed here because they get hacked out of it. But we see the Graviton Flux come out from Hoopa. They fall to Weird there, but they are able to get some members of their team back. However, Sigma continues to find the kill, make it 3 straight, make it 4 straight. Nick try and do their best on that Tracer, won't last long, and with almost a minute in their time bank, Reckless Sigma completes Eichenwald.
Second to the last fight there, Spectre got the play that every diva dreams of, the ultimate eat into a 2K bomb. Just absolutely beautiful. Sigma did end up capping that with 59 seconds in the bank, though, which means all Classified needs to do is push it to the end. They don't need any time in the bank in order to make this a chance to either tie it up or in order to get another chance at taking the point. So Again, really good play out of both teams. Reckless Sigma able to push it in through to the end. It'll be interesting to see what they decide to run out on here. I feel like Sigma has been leaning way more towards those very pokey, very ball-centered comps, and it looks like this is going to be no different on defense. They've got the Ball Sigma, they've got the Pharah Tracer. Classified, though, it looks like they're going back to the 6-man. We did see them run 6-man. I believe they were the ones who were running it on the first point of Lijiang Tower. Ended up having to switch over to the ball there and do a comp very similar to this one. So it'll be interesting to see whether they're going to have to make a full comp switch again, or whether they're going to be able to play this comp to its strengths and just walk on the core and take point with their better point presence.
Yeah, honestly, I feel like this entire comp for Classified comes down to that Sombra of Commander. Being able to hack out potentially the ball or potentially the pharmacy or one of them while they're on this side of the choke point is going to be huge for them if they're able to do that. But Fake Jake and Hoopa still have a big role to play as just diving in, trying to be the distraction so Commander can possibly get that or hack.
Yeah, definitely. And I feel like the supports of Reckless Sigma have been pretty difficult to pick off early from Classified. So hopefully the D.Va and Winston are able to focus them down here.
Yeah, but Commander already very low in this fight. Nice nade coming out there from Sir Olin there. As we see Fake Jake fall early in this fight. Touch, though, able to find Spectre, so a tank for a tank. You'll always take that, but they lose Clock there after that. Another purple coming out there onto Touch as they fall as well. So now both supports, one DPS and one tank. About to be two here. Hoopa barely able to get back to that large health pack there to keep themselves alive.
Yeah, that was just a really tough fight for Classified. Jake wasn't able to get into the position that he needed to be in order to get the damage off. It's really tough to do against a comp like this, just because you don't have a really good, solid dive target. You don't have a lot of places where you can go where that Pharah can't find you. So, like you said, gonna be looking for those hacks, trying to get that damage off here, and trying to avoid getting killed by a Pharah before even getting into position.
Yeah, Calypso already got a pulse bomb and used it there. Didn't find anything with it. Here comes the barrage, but he gets hacked out of it. A huge player from Commander, and this could be exactly what Classify was looking for. They popped their Coalescence, but so Olin able to find that out from Clock. Fake Jake is, though, able to find Weird. Trades going back and forth here. Calypso finds Hoopa. The pulse bomb comes out from Nick. Doesn't find anyone, but Commander gets a trade onto Calypso. Azure comes right back with a trade onto Touch, and then they find Nick. Finally ending all the trades happening right now in that team fight. And Reckless Sigma, so far, really doing a good job here with their defense on this first point.
They really are. They're not allowing Classified to go anywhere that they want to go. And if you're Classified at this point, I feel like you've really got to switch it up. Like, you've got the EMP, which could be big. You've got a bomb, which could be big. There comes the EMP in, gets the Pharah out of the sky.
Only finds two, though. Here comes the bomb from Hoopa. It has to be huge. It doesn't find anyone. But the EMP did get rid of Protagonist here, so there is no res available in this fight. The Nano came out. It came out on someone. I don't know who. It came out on the Weird, it looks like. They find Touch. Calypso finds Jake out, and Weird finds Commander. They're doing this with very little health. Finally, Clock takes them out with some help from the D.Va there, but the kills just continue to come for Reckless Sigma. They do see Spectre get T-Mech, though, but the damage has already been done for this team fight.
Yeah, and it looks like Classified is switching over to a complete brawl swap. They've got Nick over there on the hit scan commander on May. Very late in the game to be switching. You've only got 84 seconds left here without any ultimates in the bank. Coming up on Sigma having 3.
Yeah, but they do find Spectre forcing the res out. Pulse Bomb comes out from Calypso, not able to stick on anyone, but does get rid of that immortality field. And a huge barrage coming out from Weird. It finds two. Touch with some help from Hoopa, able to take care of Weird in the sky. But again, we're looking at a scenario where basically the damage is already done in this team fight, and Classified having to fall back to regroup.
Yeah, Sigma, again, playing that perfectly. They had the Pharah in a position where Classified just had no way to contest her. Like, you had a little bit of DM, but once that ran out, you were in the open and just completely vulnerable. Classified's got to make something work here. They've got 45 seconds to cap point A, and Sigma has a ton of ults coming online.
Yeah, bomb and minefields. Here comes the minefields out into this small room. Gonna trap some members of Classified. Already finding two out was Astrozerg, and he's rolling back through looking for more. He's able to find Nick. Spectre finds Jake. Commander able to get one kill onto Olin, but he's able to get res, and I don't think those last two members of Classified are gonna be around the point much longer, as one falls and one literally falls off the map.
Yep. 14 seconds left. Classified does have a couple of ults in their pocket. Freeze maybe not as effective except for clearing point here. Hoopa does have that bomb up, but Sigma has a few of their own here, and it looks like the Nano has already come out with 3 seconds left.
Yeah, Fake Jake on point. Nick and Touch, though, already down. Fake Jake gonna try to do their best while they wait for the team to come through the choke point. Commander falls, so no Blizzard left for them. Weird does get taken out there by Clock. Here comes the bomb from Spectre. It's gonna be able to demech Hoopa here. Hoopa having to pop their own bomb just so they can get back in their mech here to try to prolong this contest on point right now. But there are just too many members of Reckless Sigma, in my opinion, that this one might not last. But I've been surprised before, and we're starting to see some members of the Classified come back. Damage Prediction coming out from Clock here. They're going to try to do their best, but they're getting pushed away from it and not really going to be able to find anything with it right now. Commander actually able to get back in this fight. Protagonist falls. Weird falls as well. Actually, we're seeing Classified come back and take this fight. Already 2 ticks. They're halfway there on that third one, and they're filling up the kill feed, and they're actually able to take this first point away from Reckless Sigma.
We've seen both of these teams have so many of these sort of tradey fights all night. That just worked to Classified's advantage here. They have the spawn advantage. Reckless Sigma just has a little bit farther to walk once they get that respawn in. That said, 2 minutes and 12 seconds to push here. It looks like Classified is switching over to a Brigida. And they're staying on that Wrecking Ball coming into this point. It is interesting, though. They don't have any hit scan right now to contest the Pharah of Weird, and Sir Olin's already taken out Clock.
Yeah, with a lot of help there from Astro Zerg, able just to spike down, pop him up in the sky. And now we see Hoopa fake that they're going to fly up on that high ground, try to contest some of the members of Reckless Sigma up there. Barrage ready for Weird. It's going to be big that Classified tries to get rid of Weird before they use this, but they're able to find Touch already. Weird, I imagine, is trying to get this Diva out of their mech right now, because that's the last thing that really prevents an ultimate. And Nick finds one with their Pulse Bomb. They technically find two, but that other one was themselves.
Yeah, definitely not the kill you want to see in the kill feed for that. But still, taking them out is a huge setback for them. They'll probably have to regroup here. Like you said, Weird is looking for the DMech on the Diva. I don't even know if they need it at this point, though. They've just been able to get barrages off sort of willy-nilly, and Weird takes down Clock yet again with an opening pick.
Yeah, Weird is not allowing any of the supports for Classified to really play the game right now. Touch falls early. The Blizzard finally comes out from Classified here. It does free some. Fake Jake pops their minefield, does find two right after that. But Weird is still just flying around in the sky. Bomb now coming out from Hoopa, trying to find anyone, not able to this time. And they're able to get back in their mech. Nick, though, finally takes some revenge on Sir Olin there as they punch them to death. However, we see Reckless Sigma here still just kind of hanging around cards, still really forcing Classified into these scrappy team fights.
Yeah, and Classified has been looking not super coordinated this fight. They seem to be just throwing out their ult sort of willy-nilly, not getting a lot of picks off of it. Of course, as soon as I say that, Astro Zerg has used his mines and already taken out Fake Jake.
Yeah, and look, we saw Nick there pop their, or throw their Pulse Bomb, trying to probably find Astro Zerg there, but they just whiffed on it, so that Pulse Bomb won't necessarily find anyone right there. And we're still seeing Weird hold on to this barrage, and I imagine Sir Olin is going to give them the Nano again, as they've been very comfortable with giving the DPS the nanos in this entire series.
When you've got a Pharah as strong as Weird is, why wouldn't you give them Nano? Looks like you were right on the money with that one.
Yeah, and looks like Hoopa already pretending to eat, but they're forgetting about something. They did not just see 9 here, but they absolutely did.
Oh no. It's the the end of the clock comes up so quickly. They pushed the point farther than they wanted to, and they knew Weird had that barrage. They'd been playing around it for forever, even when Weird wasn't touching it. Oh, you see that beautiful Nano bringing Weird up from 5 hit points to full to get play of the game here, but absolutely outstanding play out of Reckless Sigma all around, honestly. They played their comp to their strengths. They have a lot of really strong players. Astro Zerg and Weird were coordinating their slams and their Pharah rockets, and just absolutely oppressive, and Classified just didn't have an answer for it this map.
Yeah, and we really saw Reckless Sigma pick this map for a reason. You saw why they picked it there. And like you said, it just seemed like Classified never necessarily had the answer for really anything. They were able to win a couple team fights, able to get that first point on their own offensive attack there, which surprised me, because I honestly thought it was just going to see, we're going to see people trickle into that last team fight, and eventually Reckless Sigma would end up taking them out. But they got enough people back there to actually win a team fight, get on the cart. However, Reckless Sigma just didn't seem to care about it that much. They didn't really use any ultimates there to try to really end that map then and there. They allowed Classified to come out and throw out all of their ultimates, so that they basically knew the 2 minutes and like 12 seconds they had to push, it was not necessarily going to see any ultimates come out from Classified.
And that takes a lot of courage and trust in your teammates if you're Sigma to do that. A lot of just knowing like, hey, this is our map. We've practiced this. This is our strongest comp. We've got this. We can let them take point 1 because we know we can hold them point 2. And obviously for good reason. Classified, this map, I'm not sure where they're going to end up going, but if I'm them, I'm avoiding anything that a Pharah or Echo can be particularly oppressive on. They just haven't had the best answer for Weird tonight. Commander has done a really good job on Hanamura of keeping them out of the sky, but other than that, it just looks like they're getting split up. They're taking damage before getting into position. It's just been a really tough night for Classified.
Yeah, and you know what? While you're saying, you know, Classified has to come out here and choose a map that they cannot be absolutely bullied by a Pharah or an Echo in the sky, the first map that popped in my mind was Junkertown. So I'm not surprised that we're seeing it come out for them here. While the skybox in this map is incredibly tall, which, you know, normally would go hand in hand with a Echo or a Pharah, there's just a lot of space on this map, especially on that first point, where you can kind of dictate, you know, the tempo of the map, especially if there is a pharmacy or an Echo in the sky.
Yep, and we don't see Sigma coming out on that that Pharah or the Echo because of it. Calypso instead is on the Widow and Weird is on the Hanzo. So we've got a double sniper with a Ball Sigma coming out from Sigma. Classified, again with the Ball Sigma, but they have a Soldier as their second. Now we saw Commander on Hanamura just be absolutely oppressive on that Soldier, so hoping probably to try to get a little bit more of that magic back here. It is still anybody's game at this point. If Classified wins this, we're going to a map 5.
Yeah, which is something I would absolutely love to see. And I already see some people in chat spamming some stuff, hoping for a map 5 here, but Reckless Sigma coming out with a double sniper is very, very interesting. It makes me feel like that they know how they want to play this map, and I believe they also have a lot of confidence coming into this one.
Absolutely, and we haven't seen Calypso really play anything on the hit scan yet, so it's interesting that they're the one over on the Widow here. But that said, sorry, I'm thinking Weird. Never mind. Weird is on the Hanzo, Calypso's on the hit scan. We've got Nick here just looking for the Widow. Where's the Widow? But little bit of cart push going on here, but no real picks coming through yet.
Yeah, each team is playing this very smartly. Nick was looking for Sir Olin in that backline, not able to find him there, but Weird able to find the first kill here onto Nick, and that's going to probably start a really scrappy team fight right now. And look at that, Azurk already takes care of Hoopa, but they do lose their life to it because of Commander on this Soldier. However, Classified's going to have to kind of wait a little bit here, and Calypso able just to take the head off of Commander there.
Yeah, and that was a beautiful pick by them. Commander, if they were able to stay in that position, could have wreaked havoc during the next team fight. But with that out of the way and a little bit more map control under the control of Reckless Sigma, they should... Oh, yep, Azurk is already back, so they should have a full team here for the next fight.
Yeah, but Azurk already in some trouble right now. The tank line for Classified just trying to bully him out, but it looks like he wants to go after someone here, and looks like he's going after Hoopa, and Hoopa's not able to escape or get back to the supports of their team, and this car is kind of just sitting here at the choke point. Weird able to take care of Commander there, and now it's going after Fake Jake on the ball, who does have minefields ready to go. And finally we see Nick win the Widowmaker duel there onto Calypso here for a moment, but I don't necessarily know if it will lead to anything for Classified.
It may end up being beneficial to them in the next fight, and it looks like Classified is actually using that to their advantage as they pop Trance and push in.
They pop Trance and they pop Minefield right there, and they're popping Rally. So they really want this team fight to go in their favor. Reckless Sigma also popping their own Rally as Hoopa falls. Weird's also out of the fight right now, and again, we're kind of just back to a stalemate. Commander now swapping over to this Hanzo as well, does force the Transcendence out from Sir Olin, as again, just a very weird and scrappy team fight, but Sigma ends up winning it and forcing Classified back here.
Yeah, if you're Classified, if I were Classified, I wouldn't want to be trying to take those weird and scrappy team fights. They've been sort of a little bit caught on their back foot during them. Sigma just maybe has a little bit more mechanical skill and is able to get those picks here. If you're Classified, you've got to be really, really cautious about your ult usage. There have been a lot of ults this fight that have just been sort of thrown out, but you want to make sure that you're using them coordinated with your team in order to get that advantage over Sigma, who's been kind of winning the duels all night.
Yeah, but Nick is popping the Visor. Everyone knows where they are on Classified. However, already 2 members down, probably about to be a third there, but we're able to see Fake Jake roll away with their life there. And I would not be surprised if we start seeing some swaps come out here from Classified. Yeah, we're under a minute, and we're starting to see some ultimates come up. So I imagine, you know, these might be some of the last times we see this team use these characters, at least on this offensive round.
Yeah, you'd think, but it doesn't look like they're swapping. I mean, they do have Sigma ult up, which is coming into play here, and got a lot of people, actually.
Yeah, but look at this. The Grav Dragon coming out here, able to find 2. Nick finds a 3rd, and this is exactly what Classified needed here. They're finally able to pick up some picks, and they're starting to push this card. They need to take care of Astrozerg, though, who has the minefield ready and will be the last touch here for Sigma right now. He is waiting in the wings, but I believe Nick saw him, and here he's back on point. The minefields come out from both balls there. Dragon's coming out from Weird. It's going to force Classified off the point here for a moment, and that allows Sigma to get back to this cart. Weird able to find Nick. Everything's starting to go Sigma's way. The rally coming out, but they cannot survive through a minefield. Now it has ticked into overtime. Transcendence coming out from Clock, but it's a little bit too late for that. It's just him and Fake Jake. Fake Jake now trying to be that one person who stays on the cart longest for their team. Clock falls. Fake Jake able to get back to the point. However, no real swaps coming out here from Classified other than Diva, but they get Boulder there and not able to get back to the cart in time.
Classified was so close to greatness. They finally were able to get together and make that last little play where they did the lift combo with the Hanzo ult. They were able to get a lot of picks. They pushed it all the way almost to the end. If they'd been able to pull that out a fight or two earlier, that would have been very much in their favor. But as it is, the cart remains at the end of point C as we now head into Reckless Sigma's attack. Now, if you're Classified here, I gotta think that you want to play something close and brawly. You want to burn as much time as possible off the clock to prevent Sigma from getting anything. Sigma, again, if they decide to run something like a Pharah or an Echo to break, it could be an advantage here. But if you're Classified, you're taking every second you can get.
Yeah, at this point, that's what they need to do. And it looks like they heard what you said. They're coming out here with essentially a brawl comp, while we see Reckless Sigma come out with the exact same lineup they came out with on defense right now. And they do have a little bit of leeway here, just kind of play around because they know where they have to get. They have that one map advantage, but it's their goal to probably end this series on this map here and now. However, Calypso and Weird absolutely popped off on the double sniper comp. However, you have to give a lot of credit to Astrozerg and Spectre. They created a lot of space for their team and found some early pickoffs.
Definitely. I feel like Spectre in particular is not somebody we've said a lot, like we haven't said his name a lot, but he's been putting in a lot of work with both peeling and creating space and things like that. We do see Classified as rolling this close brawl comp here. Reckless Sigma doesn't make any swaps as they're coming out of spawn.
Yeah, and Classified's going to be able to get some things here. They're able to find Weird, but I imagine we might see a little bit of a swap come out here from Reckless Sigma if they want to get out of their own spawn right now. However, it doesn't seem like they're making any swaps yet. Oh, wait, no. Here they all come. 4 members already swapping off. Fake Jake gets incredibly low there. The Immortality Field will keep them alive. And Calypso pops out the Bastion here. I love it from him. It's going to force Classified to fall back a little bit here. Nick, though, is able to take out Weird, but Calypso, that's a huge pick taking care of Torch.
Yep, that said, we do see that Hoop is able to take out protagonists, sending them back to spawn for at least another 10 seconds. This is a really good point break comp, though. I feel like Sigma potentially has a little bit of a comp advantage here as Classified is waiting for their respawns to come back.
Yeah, now Weird on this far that we've seen them dominate in the past. Almost getting Hoopa out of their mech here. Actually, they're going to be able to, so no damage left for Classified now. We're starting to see them fall back a little bit as they really need to. Nor Mortality Field for them as well. Clock falls there as well. Spectre is the only member of Sigma to fall at the moment, but Classified just keeps losing numbers. And at this point, if you're Classified, you just try to get out of this fight as fast as you can. A team kill here will provide Sigma a lot of time to push this cart, but Reckless or Classified should be able to get back into this into an engagement here just before Sigma gets out of this choke point.
Yep, and we do see Fake Jake switching from the Reinhardt over to the Wrecking Ball, both for a little bit more speed potential getting back, but also probably to contest the backline more. We do see him already going after Sir Olin.
Yeah, and they're able to take care of them right there. Sir Olin, though, gets res to keep them alive in this fight. However, Classified continues to find some kills here. The Blizzard come out from Commander really did a lot there, and Hoopa finds one with their bomb, and just a nice restabilization here from Classified to win back that team fight after essentially getting team wiped.
Yeah, and now that Sigma has broken the choke, they're just going back to what they rolled out on. They're like, you know what, we're going to go back to our stronger comp. We don't need to run the point break anymore. Sorolin is able to take Fake Jake out, which is going to be a huge opening pick for them.
Yeah, Calypso absolutely looking for a head there, not able to find it. Nick, though, finds Weird. Clock popping his damage metric here, really forcing Sigma here to respect it and not try to peek at Calypso, though. Does not care about respect, and Commander makes sure they have to respect that window there after they get just an ice shard through the head. Sigma here does pop the Transcendence. Fake Jake trying to pull some people off the map. They're not able to touch. Does pop the beat there to keep their team alive in this fight. However, Touch is off the map. Commander's off the map. Clock is dead. This is huge for Sigma. They are filling up the kill feed in their color, and this could be it for this map and the series.
Yeah, that said, Fake Jake has, I believe, respawned and is on his way back. But that said, like, don't know if anybody's going to have touch at this point.
Fake Jake's going to have to do it. They have Minefield ready, able to get it off there. Protagonist not able to summon Alvin, but Astrozerg also has mines. There's no one on card for Classified now. They're having to play around these mines, and the numbers are growing smaller and smaller. Touch dies to a mine. Nick dies to a headshot, and now we see Hoopa getting DMAC. The Dragon's coming out, pouring salt in the wound, and Reckless Sigma will end this series here and now.
Sigma, again, just looking so good this entire game. They ran that ball pokey comp to perfection. They were able to just let their DPS do what their DPS did best, which is get those picks and get those headshots off. Really great coordination. Also got to hand it to Classified, you know, like they were looking a little bit rough at some points, but then there were some times when they really shined. And heading into point B, if they're able to just polish the parts that are a little rough and focus on the things they did well, there's no reason that these teams couldn't meet each other again in the playoffs.
Yeah, and honestly, I would love to see this matchup again in the playoffs. These are two evenly matched teams, especially as I brought up in the pregame. Their average SR is only differed by 2 points. These teams are very well matched up against each other. And honestly, I feel like it really came down to the first map of Lijiang Tower. If we see Classified win that map, I feel like we're seeing a different series here. However, we saw Reckless Sigma win that map, and we started this back and forth with choosing maps up until this last one here.
Yeah, honestly, for a long time there, it was basically anybody's game, but in the end, Reckless Sigma pulls out what could be considered a little bit of an upset win over Classified. It'll be interesting to see at the end of the day what this kind of means for playoff standings. I'm sure that those will be posted later in the night. But at the end of the day, Dexatron, is there anybody on the team, or either one of these teams, that stood out for you that you'd want to call as your player of the match?
I mean, I feel like we just talked about Weird and Calypso there too much. But I feel it's gonna go to one of those two. But I want to give a huge shout out to the supports there on Reckless Sigma. The fact that we didn't talk about them enough this series is probably a little bit of just a bad part on us, because they were always supporting these two DPS as they did whatever, whether it be a pharmacy that we saw come out from them to great success almost every time. Their supports were keeping them alive in this one, but I really gotta give it to Calypso in my opinion.
Yeah, and like you said, Weird and Calypso, we've been talking about them all match. I feel like it's Weird and Calypso and then the field. So you talked about the supports. I'm actually going to head over to the other team, and I'm going to talk about Commander from Classified. Really the only thing that was able to threaten the DPS of Weird and Calypso for Reckless Sigma. I'm trying to say too many words at once. Really good showing from him, especially on Hanamura. So even though Weird and Calypso are our players of the matches, wanted to give him a shout out as well.
Yeah, I mean, this was anyone's series in my opinion. The score will show that Sigma won it 3-1, but this was a very, very back and forth series, and we almost saw Classified pull it out there on Junkertown, but just losing so many members that fast really hurt them in that final team fight. If they could have staggered it out a little bit, maybe gotten a couple trades, maybe we would have seen Sigma back off a little bit, try to regroup there, but just almost getting team wiped for the second time on the defense really hurt them there.
Yeah, definitely a tough way to end it for Classified, but The story's not over yet. Like you mentioned earlier, next week is our event week as we transition into Overwatch 2. If you're not signed up yet, talk to your GMs and make sure you get signed up. Not only is it a lot of fun game modes, but it's for a great cause. We are raising money for Rise Against the Disorder, which provides free mental health services for people who need it. So really great cause there. Make sure to tune in for that. And then the week after that, we start B-Pool and really begin playoff seeding in earnest. So, but just to sign off, I suppose. So my name's Beth again. Thank you, Dexatron, for joining us today. Laggy has been both our producer and observer, so huge shout out to him. He's been doing such a great job with all of that. But thank you all for tuning in. See you next week.